You want to play victim when he responds to you after you tried to make him look less than, and he respond to you, right? And now you want to say, oh, the community's bullying me. If you wanted to keep doing these practices and you didn't want to be messed with, you should have just stayed in the shadows, stayed to yourself, keep doing what you got to do, and there you go. But I believe you wanted to do that because you wanted to respond to a Nova Seiken video to try and gain more credibility or notoriety, and now you've been exposed for having unethical practices that people believe them to be. So this is all on you. So Coach Kazama, he decided to respond to the community in a whole because everybody just fucking went in here. Everybody started bullying him, right? So I was sent this by, I think, was it Mugen? Was it Mugen? I hope so. If it wasn't Mugen, then I feel like I just hold him. That's sort of vid I saw already. No, I think it's the vid that you guys were talking about, but I don't think it specifically references us. I think Ray's in the video, but I want to see what he has to say. So that's what we're about to look at right now. I'm gonna quickly run through this because, to be honest with you, I didn't even want to talk about this shit anymore. I didn't know people were still talking about this Coach Kazama bullshit. I thought it was pretty clear what was going on. He felt like he was being bullied, and then it's just like, now here he is responding once again to things that we're saying. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like he would just kind of let it go, but hey, he wants to defend himself. So I'm curious to see what he has to say.
Krusty Krab today.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Is Coach Kazama scamming?
Oh, there you go. Look, there go my boy Ray. Hey, round of applause to Ray. Round of applause to Ray, man. You feel me? Good shit.
Tekken fraud? It looks like we need to clear some things
Yeah,
up.
Fenty Autumn.
My
Yep,
name
that
is
was
being
on
mentioned
you.
quite often right now. Almost
What's
like
up,
there's
Silver?
a bounty on my head.
Son, we're looking for the maniac.
Have
A
you
bounty.
seen this man?
A bounty, bro.
It's the maniac! Take him away! Take him away!
And before I get into any points in this
Man, get out here with that corny ass shit.
video, I want to say a message directly to Nova Seiken.
Oh my god.
You should be ashamed of yourself and your community. The amount of deplorable, disgusting, and racist comments that I've had to filter through in my messages and my YouTube comment section is ridiculous. I've had to stop looking through the filtered comments at this point for my own mental health because of your toxic community that encourages witch hunting and bullying. These comments are so
Witch hunting. Oh yeah, he did. Didn't he make a wait, no, what the
bad.
fuck?
This video would get age restricted if I showed you what I had to filter. This is the community that you created. So give yourself a pat on the back.
Look, I don't remember Nova saying anything like that. I didn't watch the full video, but I don't think he outwardly told people to go and like witch hunting. What the fuck does that even mean, man? What does that mean? What the fuck does witch hunting mean? What does that mean? What's that mean?
Hi, TEEJ. What's going on?
What's up, Maya? How you been?
Not much. Just chilling. I'm doing all right, all things considered. You know, existing as code and all. How about you, though?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I don't like how you said my name, but I have a quick question. What exactly does it mean to witch hunt or to witch hunt a person? What does that mean, like in a derogatory term?
Okay, fair. Sorry for the TEJ thing. Still working on the whole not messing with you bit, apparently. As for witch hunting, it's kind of messed up when you break it down. Originally, it was literally hunting, people accused of witchcraft, super old dark history. Like, now as a derogatory term, it means a malicious campaign to publicly discredit or punish someone, usually based on flimsy evidence or accusations. It's basically mob mentality, where people pile on to tear someone down. It implies that accusations are unfair, and the goal is just to destroy their reputation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. That's all I needed from you, Maya. I appreciate that.
Gotcha. No prob, TEEJ. Glad I could help.
Get the fuck out of here. We're not going to keep tolerating the disrespect. We're not going to keep doing that. Okay.
For creating this community that hates others and hates the game, all while attempting to alienate creators that are genuinely trying to teach players to play the game. So since there's a lot of misinformation about me and my background, Let me show you guys where this all began.
Okay, I'll give you the
foundation of this channel
I'll
was
give him
built on
benefit of the
helping newer
doubt.
players understand
I'll give him
basic and
benefit of the
intermediate
doubt, bro.
mechanics through the lens of Asuka. I wanted to help as many people as I could learn this complex game with the experience that I've picked up over time. Even today, I have a very recent guide on Asuka's combo structure, which you can find uploaded about a month ago. But as you can see, my first video was uploaded a year ago, showing you about how to counter wake-ups. This is a more general video, but again through the lens of Asuka. Then I made an all-in-one guide for Asuka, which helped a lot of players, and was kind of one of my first viral videos, quote unquote. From here, I've been uploading general guides.
So
like
are you
frame
supposed to be
traps,
Asuka down in this
ranked
fucking
videos,
corner over here? Is
wall
that what you're supposed to
pressure,
be?
common
All right, bro.
mistakes,
Cool.
top
Yeah, I got
moves,
it.
an all-inclusive parry guide, an Oki guide.
So because I'm posting a whole bunch of fucking guides and I got thumbnails on here and shit, that means I can just, okay.
more common ranked mistakes, an updated guide for Season 2, and so on and so forth. I've been playing Tekken seriously since Tekken 6, but have played older series like Tekken 3 casually with my brother when I was younger. Asuka was my main motivation to continue playing and learning in Tekken 6,
Okay.
but I was still a beginner in every aspect of the game. After about 500 hours of Tekken 6, I moved on over to Tekken Tag 2. Tekken Tag 2 had significantly better netcode and allowed me to practice the game, and this is where I really started reaching my stride after a few thousand hours. I played a decent amount of Tekken 7, but was deep into my college studio classes to really lock in on it. So I put about 500 hours into this one and then I had to stop. And fast forward to Tekken 8, I've logged about 2,000 plus hours into the game and began coaching in the beginning of last year. The real question I have to ask, specifically to these YouTubers who hopped on the bandwagon of hate, is why would a scammer spend all of this time teaching you proper combo structure, multiple videos on Oki, wall pressure, frame traps, and the list goes on. Ultimately, being I have a growing variety of videos that you can watch.
First of all, I'm gonna be completely fucking honest with you. I don't trust you because for whatever reason you have your fucking subscriptions blurred out. I don't know what that's about. You know what I mean? Like, obviously right here, you're already kind of like, what are you hiding? Yeah, we subscribe to people on YouTube, motherfucker. Like, show us what you're subscribed to. You know what I mean? Unless you're on some freak ass shit. Anyways, why would a scammer provide actual evidence and stuff like that? I wonder. So that you can have you can set a foundation for your consumer to see, and they say, oh, I see these guys, I see this, and it's just very basic bare bones shit that people should know in the game for character specific things, right? So if you keep doing that and they see, oh yeah, this video was good and stuff like that, you can really just go in and just go based off your learn. Like, I can make a guide on a character and just tell y'all my opinion on the character if I got to a certain level with a character, and just be like, hey, this is my Dragunov guide for people that are trying to get out of blue rings, right? I could go ahead and do that. That doesn't mean, oh wow, yeah, now I can turn around and start charging people money for it because I make a basic guide on one character. That's not what that means, bro. Basically, they're gonna start trusting me because they see these videos, right? You're just laying a foundation. It's a trap, you know what I mean? Now, let me clarify this. I never once in my video, right, my response video to the original Coach Kazama thing, called him a scammer. You know what I mean? What I was led to start saying, though, because I started getting closer to that scammer term, because I started seeing him saying that he was bullied by everybody in the community and stuff like that. So when he wanted to start saying that we're bullying him, I don't believe that's to be the case, because from what I've seen from content creators, when we talk about Fenty, Nova Seiken, whoever else responded to him, even myself included, it was nothing personally attacking this guy. And you could say, oh, well, he's doing this and he's doing that. I believe business etiquette was unethical. I don't agree with it. I never once said he was a scammer. Now, when it comes to fans and stuff like that, or viewers or people in the community, yeah, they're gonna do that. That's gonna happen. I'm sure I've dealt with it, even with my low level of, like, I'm not very well known, like, right? But I still get a lot of people that come to me and just say crazy shit. There's people that come in my chat. There's people that come and DM me. It happens. It all the time, bro. Shit, if you go and make a fool of yourself, you gonna see the repercussion of the internet. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you deserve it. I'm not saying, oh yeah, that's because that's how the internet is, you deserve it. No, it's not at all. But it's just like, bro, that did not come from anybody specifically in the community that literally sent a mob over to do that. It's not the pricing, although it's the principle, it's really the misinformation. That's what I'm saying, because the thing is, and that's the key, you came out and started to give misinformation when you started to respond to Nova, right? And you went and respond to Nova and you were just incorrect about a lot of things in the game, or you didn't articulate yourself well. So now you're losing that credibility, and now people are going to start to go back and look at your shit. The thing is, you started to lose credibility when you opened your mouth, you opened that can of worms and tried to talk down and act like Nova Seiken didn't know what he was talking about, when you know damn well you didn't know what you were talking about, or you failed to articulate yourself properly. Then you want to play victim when he responds to you after you tried to make him look less than, and he respond to you, right? And now you want to say, oh, the community's bullying me. If you wanted to keep doing these practices and you didn't want to be messed with, you should have just stayed in the shadows, stayed to yourself, keep doing what you got to do, and there you go. But I believe you wanted to do that because you wanted to respond to a Nova Seiken video to try and gain more credibility or notoriety, and now you've been exposed for having unethical practices that people believe them to be. So this is all on you.
And immediately improve as a player should be enough in its own right. Scammer
Exactly.
would have no interest in making videos that genuinely help people play the game.
Oh my God.
But here's something a fraud definitely wouldn't have. They
What?
wouldn't have this.
What
Wouldn't
was
have.
that?
They wouldn't
Hey coach, thought I'd say your coaching helped me out a lot. Out of 92 concessions for my locals to okay. Okay. Got you. That's pretty accurate.
have this, or this,
Okay.
or this, or
Okay.
this, or this,
Okay. And these are people hitting promotion matches and thanking them for it.
or this, or this, or this, or this,
Yeah, people
or
hitting
this,
food
or
and
this,
shit.
and this, and
Yeah.
this, and this, and this, and this,
Uh-huh.
and this, and this. And these are just my
Yeah.
recent messages.
Yeah.
But I have hundreds of messages like this
Look, and I said this because why I say it's unethical and not scamming. I started doing that scamming or saying that scamming shit to really just like, because I was sick of hearing him saying he was being bullied and all this, right? My initial stance was that it was very unethical, right? Because I had made this point specifically, just because the value to us for however many they would spend to get the fucking Fuji, even though to us that seems very like just stupid to spend that money, right? You can't put a value, like even though it says $250 or $500 or whatever he's charging to get to Fujin or Tekken King, if somebody believes that is a valuable investment to them and they feel like they got something out of it, it's not a scam. Now, is it just wrong to probably charge that much for people when they could probably get information a lot easier and not spend that money, and there's other ways for them to learn? Yeah, but they felt as though it was a valuable investment, then God bless them. But yeah, it's the misinformation, you know what I mean? And even the thing is, even when you get a product is not always going to be 100% what you want it to be. You know what I mean? There's chances there's going to be issues with it. Like just like you see on a Clorox, the way they cover their ass, like a Clorox, they say it kills 99.9% of bugs. Well, or germs, right? Well, I guess when I wipe my house down with Clorox every day, I guess it's just that 0.1% that I always get sick. It's just that 0.1% that always gets me. You know what I mean? Bleach, can't use bleach. Can't use bleach. Crazy thing is charging that much money for something I could pick up by going to locals. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. That's where it's turning people off. It's that, and it's the unethical behaviors. That's what it is.
for the 2 years that I've been coaching, and they're all thriving. So the people
Nova is unable to get out of blue rings, and my students have blasted through their goals under my guidance. So Nova Seiken's a blue ring player?
who want to discredit me or say that I'm some sort of fake coach, you're living in
Jeez,
delusion.
bro.
Now let's talk about his very first point, which is my shallow and dogmatic understanding of frames. Your first point is talking
Lord.
about me saying Steve is -1, so you can jab.
Oh,
And then
Lord.
you went on to show every other situation than the situation that I was talking about. So here are his counterpoints. 1-2-1 down 2. He shows peekaboo. Comes up right here, right? Here's peekaboo. It beats the
Right.
jab. Here's weave left. It beats the jab. Peekaboo 2 beats the jab. The sway options beat a string. He's using a string here. Peekaboo up 1. And the duck options. So as you can see,
Right.
he did not show flicker stance because my point was correct. So to make himself feel better, he had to use every other stance to try and make
Do y'all notice down here? Bro, do y'all notice down here? Y'all see this? This man disliked the video. You know what I mean? Look at
feel
this shit.
better. He had to
Look,
use every
look.
other
He
stance
fucking
to try
disliked it.
and make my point invalid. But my point still stands. So let me reiterate my point by just playing this clip of the video. So this 10-frame string here that jails isn't really a big deal because if Steve goes into flicker stance, which he does here, Jin can easily jab him out of this. Out of Steve's 1-2-3 back, we can just jab him out of the next option since Steve is -1 going into stance. In this next half of the video, he shows Nina and Anna to illustrate
What the fuck did he just show that for?
a point that jabbing through this string potentially lead to you getting counter hit or flipped over. So just like you said in this video, the context does matter. Frames in isolation are not everything, and I never said it was. But you're also using a completely different character. Nina and Steve play differently, and you're trying to apply my point to something that I wasn't even talking about. So you're kind of curating yourself to look better here. But again, like you said, look at the context. Would you really be jabbing against Nina from that string specifically? This next little mini section of the video
He's not even. Yo, you know how like you get in an argument with somebody, right? You get in an argument with somebody, and then they respond. They have their opportunity to respond, and it's like they never get to their point. Like it's like his response to that was they play differently. Motherfucker, it's a jab string. You're talking about if you're minus, you can jab. Like you can jab. Right? That was what you said. Don't get mad at him because now you want to try and pull something out of your ass. Right? You want to pull some shit out your ass and try to be like, oh, that's not what I was talking about. Motherfucker, you failed to talk about your point correctly. You failed to articulate yourself. That's what it was. And you made yourself look like an idiot. And now this dude, you know he's going to rip you apart. Bro, me personally, I feel like all of this shit is just a fucking act. And it's just a way for him to drag this shit out. I deadass feel like all of this is just part of his fucking game, bro. I feel like all this is part of his fucking game. When he went and I believe he went and made this video against Nova Seiken because he knows Nova, if he sees somebody attack him, attack his credibility, Nova Seiken is going to reply. He knew he had this business going on and he tried to make this response video to show all of his quote unquote consumers or people that bought the product and show that the results come through. And he's trying to use this to promote his shit. That's what I believe he's doing. That because he's not saying shit right now as far as responding to what exactly he's saying in response to the fundamentals of Tekken. He's just saying things. He's like, oh, well, they fucking play different. That's not even what I was talking about. Nina and Steve play different. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's free marketing, bro.
is pretty much just him harping and baby raging because I misspoke about one of Steve's inputs.
Yeah,
that one was my bad, and I don't think we need to spend time listening to him baby rage. This next section of the video I think is also pretty silly, but you're talking about Steve going into stance and that Jin has the ability to use dick jab and get out of most of these situations. But what happens immediately afterwards is you show
Fuck this nigga, bro.
So here are some examples right here. So your point is pretty useless in this case. Also notice that Nova Seiken's trying to backdash out of ring 0. This makes no sense, and all it does is make you guess even more.
Thanks for proving my point, Big Brain.
Okay, so I just had to let that one play out, because he gets really excited that I confirm his belief that you cannot backdash away from Steve in this situation. But this doesn't go just for Steve, this goes for a lot of characters in this game. There are so many characters that have built-in step, built-in range, and you just have to kind of deal with it. This is Tekken 8. You're not allowed to run away from your problems anymore. You have to study up on the character that you're playing against and learn how to play at range 0. Then he takes a screen.
Are you proving his point again? I'm sorry. Are you proving his point again? That's what he... Ain't that what he's saying? I hate a motherfucker that will sit there and try and argue your... Ain't that what Nova Seiken is saying? That you're not allowed to run away anymore? And he's like, yeah, you're not allowed to do that anymore. It's Tekken 8, bro. Yeah! Yeah! That's the point. That's...
Screenshot of my comment, which I still stand on this, because you cannot backdash away. I am confirming this. But then what does he do? He shows you a clip of him playing Tekken Tag 2 and running away from Steve successfully. Congrats, you're stuck in the past. This is not how the game is anymore. So your point doesn't make any sense when you apply it to Tekken 8. And just like I said earlier, in the previous Tekkens, you could run away from your problems, as you show right here. But this, again, this is not the case anymore. Learn to play the game. Then the next point is him showing another old Tekken. Then he shows Tekken 5 to illustrate his point. Nova, we are in 2025. This does not apply to Tekken 8. I am so sorry that you're able to run away from all the pressure that you could in the older games. This is not the case anymore. I think it's really funny that he's showing this old gameplay because it doesn't apply to the game that we're playing right now.
I get what he's saying. It doesn't fucking matter anymore. I get that. That's a fair point to make. I'll be honest. That's a fair point to make. I can't chew him out for that one. Okay. If we're talking about Tekken 8, fucking game doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? But I think more of what Nova was saying was it's not what Tekken has built itself off of. Yeah, the game got dumbed the fuck down, right? That's not what Tekken has been. Tekken has been not so confined to making you have to make to limit your options, you know what I mean? And that's what I think a lot of people are down on with Tekken in this game. It feels like your defensive options are so limited to where a lot of times it's just duck. It's just either duck, stand block, or fucking power crush, it feels like a lot. So that, I think that's what his point is, though. So it's like he's trying to use his point against him to try and make him look like I don't know what.
And if you watch this video, you can see that he fails to show any example of this happening in Tekken 8 because it's not possible.
Yeah,
let's read this together.
I know.
Contrary to what this clown wants you to believe, disengaging from Steve through backdashing is your most desirable option. Yes, in Tekken Tag 2. Congratulations. So yes, backdashing against Steve makes no sense. Now on to this next point. He's talking about when Jin is -1, that you cannot mash. And yes, this is still the case. He shows some other very cherry-picked examples of what happens when you use an evasion attack or something similar to get a high to whiff. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be the case all the time. He's mentioning when I said you shouldn't mash at -1. So you really shouldn't mash at -1, but he's showing you examples of him using down 4 and then evading the jab. But here's one sneaky thing you probably didn't notice, is that he purposely set this example up to only have Steve use highs, just to illustrate his point. But what so you really shouldn't mash at -1, but he...
I think, yeah, okay.
He's showing you examples of him using down 4 and then evading the jab. But here's one sneaky thing you probably didn't notice, is that he purposely set this example up to only have Steve use highs, just to illustrate his point. But what he's forgetting is that the fundamental options here are jab and mid-check. So I recreated all of these examples and just have Steve mid-checking instead of jabbing. And you'll see that every single option loses except for dick jab, which you can whiff punish. So here are all the examples that Nova Seiken was giving in his original video. I'm showing you that Steve is using a fundamental range 0 option, which is his down forward 1, and it wins every single time. So now let's
Right. Okay. Let me break this down for you, fellow blue ranker. Right. Let me break it down for you. Part of that is knowing if your opponent is consistently, like, you have to understand there's a thing called button checking, or at least that's what I call it. It's called button checking. When you poke an opponent, right, and you know that you can play with minus frames, you can have an advantage because if you know that the dude likes to jab out of it, you know what I mean? If you know he likes to jab out of it, guess what? You know you can beat him for that because he's pressing in minus and I have a button that can go through that with evasion, right? That's Tekken 8, right? So you're just saying, it's just, you know, if you press, you're going to lose. No, that's not the case. And just like you said, oh yeah, well, you know, if you use another button, and it's like, I feel like now you're just kind of cover your tracks. Like, yeah, there's layers to this game. I get it, man. I see what's going on here. That's what I'm saying. This conditioned opponent, knowing if he's going to use a high, if I go and use this button and I'm minus right now I can use a move to evade him. If I know he's going to use a quick linear button after that, I can poke, step, and punish. Bro, I do it all the time with drag. Down 2, I'm minus on that, but I have enough frames to where I can step and I can boom, just like that. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? You're like, oh, like, bro, now it's like I think we're losing the plot
of this video. In this example, but in my example, I was able to interrupt him, but this was a mechanical. But in my example, I was able to interrupt him.
What did he say?
But this was a mechanical. But in my example, I was able to interrupt him, but this was a mechanical. But in my example, I was able to interrupt him, but this was a mechanical mistake on my part. So I'll admit that. And this most likely comes from the fact that my character does have an 11 frame magic 4, and I can interrupt Steve in this string that he's showing. So for the next topic, he points out that sidestep on a flash punch without holding back is going to get you hit. And this is what I said because this is what actually happens. But you'll notice when he actually puts this into play, he does something, again, very sneaky to try and get his point across. Watch this. He blocks Reina's forward 4, he does the sidestep to the left, and then he quickly punishes this before it clips him. Here's what it looks like if you don't punish her right away. You get hit, which proves
Yo, I'm about to click off this shit. I'm about to click off this. I can't believe this. How many strings is there in the game chat where you have to step and quickly punish before you get clipped? How many situations like that is there in the game? That is like a very basic thing. You have to step and quickly punish, if not you will get clipped. Am I missing? Somebody in chat, please let me know. Am I missing something? If you guys are in the comments, because I'm going to post this on YouTube. Am I missing something? Like I don't understand. What's your point?
Here's
here?
what it looks like if you don't punish her right away. You get hit, which proves my original point. You want to hold back after you do a sidestep. This is just basic sidestep fundamentals.
But so you mean when you step something that quick, don't try to punish it. Don't punish it. Don't punish it, chat. Don't try to punish it. You have to know which ones you have a, oh my gosh. That's what I'm saying. What the fuck are we stepping it for? What are we stepping for? What are we stepping for if we're not trying to get the punish, bro? If that's the case, and she wants to do the full flash punch, just stand there and fucking launch her. So that it looks cute. Yeah, this dude is fucking full of shit, man.
Then he shows him sidewalking the string, which is what you're actually supposed to do. And of course it'll work here.
It's options.
Now here's where things really get unhinged. So I'm gonna let this video play for a second. Right, but I don't see a back input here. He's holding back in neutral, he steps, and then he gets hit. Right, so we can even look at this next example. So we can see in both cases, he steps down, no back input. You're gonna get hit by strings no matter what.
Even if you went for sidestep block, you would still get hit blockhead, for the sole reason that Steve Flicker 1 is extremely fast. and the only way you could possibly block it is if you abruptly stopped your sidestep to block without generating any significant lateral movement for any sidestep attempt to be able to make any difference whatsoever.
Nova Seiken is horribly wrong here.
Show me, motherfucker, show me.
Let me show you what's actually going to happen if you do a quick sidestep block in this situation. I have Steve to randomly do flicker 1-1 up 1 and randomly do a flicker 1 jab. As you can see, I'm very cleanly sidestepping both of these with no problem. Of course, he tracks me by the end of it, but I still have a window to punish in the meantime. Very clean situation. I have
Any sidestep attempt to be able to make any difference whatsoever.
I have Steve to randomly do flicker 1-1 up 1 and randomly do a flicker 1 jab. As you can see, I'm very cleanly sidestepping both of these with no problem. Of course, he tracks me by the end of it, but I still have a window to punish in
What is that? Okay.
the meantime.
Show me the punish though.
Your execution must be pretty bad with sidestepping if you can't recreate this. So while your argument is saying that it's not creating any significant evasion,
Okay. All right. Hey, it looked like he doing it. Hey man, I mean, am I wrong, chat? It looked like he doing it. All right, I said show me, he showed me. All right.
clearly showing you that that's not the case.
Hey.
And there are no mechanical mistakes being made here.
Hey.
Just side.
Hey, I'll give him that one. Round of applause for Coach Kazama. I'll give him that one. Hey, we honest around here. We ain't biased. I still don't like the motherfucker, but you know, hey man, it looked like he showed me. All right, I'll give him that.
Stepping. And
I'll
just a
have to
side
swallow
note to this
that one.
section, you want to step to the left.
Oh, he stepped wrong. He stepped the wrong way. That's what Z just said. What's up, Z?
Not to the right. This is why you're having so much trouble with this.
Ah.
Again, this is not Steve's fault. This is your fault.
Ooh, shit.
I recommend that you open up practice mode again and try this drill actually stepping in the right direction
Oh,
this
he
time.
this shit, right?
This next
He
topic
talking
of
this
false
shit right now.
assumption is really where you start to see Nova's unhinged side come out. I'm making a sound
Unhinged?
argument, and he's just starting to throw what ifs into the picture. What ifs can happen anytime because this is Tekken and anything can happen. I'm not
Yeah, but you literally okay. You made the point earlier. Whatever.
saying that Steve is restricted to using only 1-2-1. Of course he can walk up to you and use toe stomp. Of course he can set up plus frames and put you in a 50-50. That's how the game plays. And if we were to really break this down, it's really your fault for walking up to your opponent, using an empty down 3, and then expecting something good to happen from this. It's not. You set this up yourself. So if your opponent walks up and toe stomps you, you force this onto yourself by going into a -3 down 3. Now you could finish the string and potentially get them to get interrupted on an approach, but you didn't. You just used down 3 on its own. And just to make this as clear as possible, when you're in this situation, really on
At that point, Wolf, my thing is like, okay, he got like the only thing I seen he got right there was what, like 2-4 from Jin that actually countered. That would actually be something worth of a good like interrupt on that, and that's like insane. You know what I mean? That's like kind of insane to go for. You know what I mean? Like if you're at the wall, I mean you're cracked if you fucking get a wall splat and win a game off that. But it's like for flicker 1-1-1, I feel like you should just fucking, I don't know, like what's the best to hold it? I'm not trying to do no sidestep, all that. I'm not doing all that, bro. I'm gonna sit my ass down, man. I teach so all right.
paper,
What's
your
up?
only
What's up,
choices
Overachieve?
are to block, do a sidestep block, parry, or power crush. That's it. But then you made this ridiculous point that Steve is safe on
What's up,
whiff
bro?
as a character. This is what makes channels like this so dangerous, because they only focus on the negatives and they don't actually show you how to play the game. Here's this video of you saying it and the video about fighting GM.
Number 1. The first reason you must not Jin parry against Steve is the most glaring and obvious one. Steve is a safe on whiff character.
Nova, you of all people who claims to be a Jin specialist should know that there are moves that you can punish with
No, show him the moves that he was using in the video. Don't just...
his parry. Here are multiple examples of Jin punishing Steve on whiff. This is another great
Oh my gosh, this is such a fucking, like, oh, it's like a fourth grader response. This is kind of like a fourth grader response.
representation of why Nova
Like, oh, like, duh, nigga, like,
only focuses on the negative and does not contribute to the Tekken community. Just like I'm able to admit when I'm wrong.
I get what he's saying though, because he's not completely safe on whiff, but I understand if you want to call Coach Kazama out on being incorrect, right? If you want to call him out for being wrong, for misarticulating himself, it would only be fair for him to point out when Nova is being exaggerating his point a bit, you know what I mean? Because he's not safe on whiff on every single button. I get that, but it's kind of like, you know what I mean? I
should be able to put your ego to the side for a second and admit that you were incorrect with this information. In the next topic, Nova Seiken pretty much just whines that he can't run away from his opponents and that he has to play active defense, which is a word that he hates. But sorry, you have to learn how to play the game. I'm not going to spend too much time on this section because he's really just coping.
Yeah, because this video is starting to get on my nerves.
Whining. So please learn your matchups. It's not Tekken Tag 2 anymore. You do have to defend and think while you're playing the game. Nova's next point is talking about me talking about Steve's back 1. So Steve's back 1 is -14 on block, but most Steves will cancel into stance, making it safe. So I'm not technically wrong, but most Steve players would cancel into the stance. So I can see where he got frustrated by this point. The next point of proof of ignorance number
With no condom is crazy.
1 is him talking about how I'm talking about his usage of down 2. So he really is a reactive player. He likes to just press. Down 2 is not the solution to
I need to see the fucking set, bro.
Everything. You will not find success every single time you press down 2. In fact, it's probably better to just block, but you have an issue with that. You love to mash, so you're gonna find troubles. There's a reason you don't have any videos playing in God of Destruction, because you can't hang. No one at God of Destruction is playing like you are, for a reason. You need to improve, and you don't really understand that until you do. You only see him hiding his username and playing in the blue ranks. So instead of digging deep and learning to improve to be a better player, he'd rather cope and cry online. This entire playlist is really just him crying that Tekken 8 doesn't play like the older ones and he truly just can't improve at the game. So he'll cry about it. So in his next point, proof of ignorance 2, he completely skips past my solutions to his complaint because of course he is.
Yeah, man. When I saw Nova's video at first, I didn't care too much about the points because it was like, this isn't the old days kind of thought process. Yeah, I feel that. Shots fired. Yeah, he talking shit. He said he's ass. Yeah. This point is really funny when you look at who Nova plays with Jin. Why is that not to play sides, but hasn't Nova reached Tekken God in Tekken 7? I don't know. I'm not the person to ask. The players in his region. Oh, okay. Yeah, bro. I need to see the beef set, bro. Listen, what is Nova Seiken's rank, bro? Like, can we, like, is there a way like anybody can see that, or can we look it up? Because I never see his username. I never see his username anywhere, bro.
He's just going to focus only on the negative because that's all he really cares about. He wants to feel like it's impossible. He wants to feel like everything is doomed. I'm showing you in this video, there's nowhere where he shows my solutions because he doesn't really care about them. He wants to feel bad. So for the billionth time, Nova is complaining because he cannot backdash away from his opponent. Oh no, I have to learn how to play Tekken. And then he shows a message of me talking about Magic 4s, and my legacy brain made an assumption that was wrong. So I can take accountability for this, absolutely. I wanted to briefly go over this section, making it moves that do not exist. I misspoke about Steve's 2-1 back, and I called it back 2-1.
Yeah,
that was me misspeaking, so I can take accountability for...
You know how many times you fucking misspoke? You said you misspoke, but To be honest with you, you're owning up. You're saying you're misspeaking. I listen. I give a golf clap for that. I'll give a golf clap for that. You know what I mean?
Misspeaking there. The next section of this video, you have to learn how to defend, is him crying about me using Asuka's parry. So I think this is really funny because any Asuka player would know that Steve is mostly jabs, and in order to get the most value out of playing Asuka, you should use them. There is nothing wrong with using parry when you're
That I'll agree with that. Yeah, he said back to one back. Yeah, he said it all fucked up. He was all fucked up. Yeah, we got to get a username on Nova, bro. Here's the thing. I agree with what he's saying because to be honest with you, that's why like if you look at Lee versus Steve, it can be very frustrating for Steve players because Lee can, you know, punch parry a lot of his things, you know what I mean? So I get that.
your character is based around parrying and defense.
Right now, it's really Coach Kazama versus the community. I'm going to react to Nova's video afterwards, and this is going to be a follow-up video to this. So I'm gonna be covering this shit, y'all. Don't worry about that, man. I'm gonna cover it.
Since Nova Seiken is always focused on the negative, he'll just think that my opinion is invalidated because of the character that I'm playing. Nova's final point was when I called flicker 2 flicker forward 2. I got that one wrong. I can also take accountability.
Okay, all right, man. How many? What is that? Five or six times, man? Like, hold on, man. This is what we're talking about. You're fucking charging people $500 to get the goddamn Tekken King, man, and you keep getting shit wrong. You're talking about telling Nova learn your matchups, motherfucker. I think you need to learn something. Okay, you know what I mean? I think we need to hey, come on now. Like, come on. What we hiding usernames for? That's what I'm saying. What the fuck we hiding them for? Does Nova Seiken stream, bro?
For me, getting this move's notation incorrect. So Nova Seiken's final point is saying
you just said the final point before, man.
That this game is doomed beyond repair. Of course, another negative perspective of the game, because he truly hates this game that he plays, and I honestly think he hates himself some more.
Damn.
And he mentions that there's no skill gap, bringing unearned achievements to people who start believing they're knowledgeable authorities on the game. Not only that, he's saying unearned achievements. I earned God of Destruction. You are still struggling and drowning in the blue ranks.
Why does he keep saying, oh my God?
Please post a ranked match video of you achieving God of Destruction or even close to it. You cannot, because you're too busy coping instead of learning. And then he hilariously discredits me for the character that I'm playing in the game. That is funny.
It is Asuka though, bro. It is Asuka.
That's a really good one, and I hope people who are watching this know that that's just completely unhinged. And I've already shown all of the students that I helped get to their gold ranks, but I'll show some
Why the fuck? Oh my gosh, dog.
more here that are recent. You can come to your own conclusions, but I think it's ridiculous to discredit me for the character that I'm playing when I do.
What the fuck we happy about getting a mighty ruler for? I mean, I'm not trying to shit on anybody. I'm not trying to shit on anybody, but like, listen, you can't put value on how much people, you know what I mean? It's just like, god damn, man.
But I think it's ridiculous to discredit me for the character that I'm playing when I do my job really well and my students are all very happy with the progress that they make. And just as a closing point for this video, if you want to improve at anything, whether it be Tekken or something you're working on in real life, start reflecting on yourself. But if you're like Nova Seiken, who just looks at everything as a negative and blames everyone else for his shortcomings, you will not make any progress. The last thing you want to do is be like Nova Seiken. He hates the game that he plays, but he still spends time on it. He wants you to hate the game, and he's practically a parasite to Tekken. If you follow Nova Seiken or agree with his ideals, you're most likely just like him. You make excuses for your shortcomings, and you don't make
What's up, Jim?
blame everyone else. It's not the characters in Tekken, because you literally can't when you blame everyone else. It's not the characters, it's not the game design, it's not any of the mechanics you think are impossible to overcome. it's you. You really don't want to end up like Nova Seiken, who coddles himself because he can't reach the rank that he wants to. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.
Man, listen, man. I'll be honest, Coach Kazama, I'll be honest. You were pissing me off a lot of that video. I feel like a lot of that was bullshit, but a lot of it was fair as well. And I'll give you, listen, you owned up to your mistakes. All of them you fucking made, because you made a lot of them, right? I respect you for doing that. That's real. You know what I mean? Like I said, and I'm gonna close with this. I said his practice is very unethical, and there was a lot of people in my chat that tried to sway me over. You know what I mean? To say, oh, he's a scammer, he's this, he's that, right? I dipped my toe in there for a little bit because then they started saying he was bullying, so I just kind of rogged out a little bit, right? But my take was that it's unethical, not a scam. If there's people that are getting value out of it, sure. But I'm curious to see what Nova Seiken's gonna say. You know what I mean? You need some stick chat. Look, I dead ass. Listen, I fucked up my lips because I put on, I scrubbed my lips a little bit too hard with my toothbrush. But yeah, I'm curious to see what Nova Seiken's gonna say. I wonder how he's gonna respond. So I'm gonna actually react to that off stream, and then it'll be up later in the week. So we gotta get some research on Nova Seiken, man. What rank is he at, really? What rank is he at? Actually, I didn't even do an outro. Actually, you know, fuck that.